Well, for me, you know, magic came very easy for me. I'm one of those kids that just, some kids play piano and they instantly play good, or some kids are good at telling stories. Me, magic and inventing magic came very easy. I would go to the library and take out, remember libraries, by the way? I would go to the library and take out the book on magic, and I would read the effect, what the audience would see, and I refused to read the next page about the method. I would force myself to try to think of a way of doing the exact same piece of magic with my own way of doing it. So I started inventing magic things. And when I was 12 years old, I had invented magic. There were actual magic encyclopedias. When I was 16, I was teaching magic at NYU. I sucked at everything else, but magic, for some reason, I was good at. But my real passion wasn't magic. It was all the movies that I saw and the stories I saw and the Broadway shows that I saw. How those things made me feel influenced, that was what my dream was, to be able to have that kind of same effect on an audience. And to have an audience go, wow, or like you did just a second ago when you realized your hands were going to turn that way, that moment is an amazing moment. To make an audience go, oh my God, is an amazing thing. But it wasn't enough for me. It wasn't. I wanted them to cry and to learn something, to be inspired. So I tried to combine the magic that I was good at with everything I wasn't good at, which was every piece of theater that I had to learn, and how to light things, how the music would happen, all the details it takes to make something emotionally relevant.
So this means to push your ideas is something that we always try to do. And we have this nice quote: when you make something no one hates, no one loves it, said by Tibor Kalman. And by trying the impossible, one should reach the highest grade of the possible, said by Swedish writer August Strindberg. So for us, this means to push your projects higher and further than you ever thought was possible. So we can quickly show you the case of Malmö Festival. Scandinavia's biggest city festival for 8 days. A lot of people, a lot of culture, and we decided to turn the identity into a whole physical area when they turned 30 years old. So we started out designing the actual information. So it says Malmö Festival celebrates 30 years, free for all, kisses and hugs, puss and kram. We then had to do this in 3D, even though we don't like CGI too much, just in order to calculate that we had to be 30 meters up in the air to photograph this in order for the angles to be correct. Quick off to next, we sent these sketches off to a wood cutting machine who cut it out, and this awesome carpenter put it all together so you could jump on it for 8 days consecutively if you wanted to. These guys had no idea what we were doing, but that's how it is sometimes. We started out in May, the festival was in August, so the campaign had to run over the summer. So we had to shoot this in May. We started at 6 o'clock in the morning, because at 12 o'clock, the shadows from the sun would be perfect from upper left to lower right. And if we didn't get it, we would have to redo it the next day. Manual drop shadow, basically. So starting out, that's kerning, manual kerning. Try that, guys. Some of these things took 5 people to carry. And we made it in different levels, so you could enter one side and climb higher. So this is how high up we had to be. For some stupid, fucked up reason, they make the floor transparent, probably just to fuck with you. So I was basically on my knees this whole time, super afraid.
These are incredibly challenging times for pretty much everyone in this room. The marketing landscape has changed beyond all recognition in the last 5 years. And I think we're slowly starting to realize that we need to stop interrupting and we need to start entertaining if we really want to engage. Now, that means whether you're a salad dressing, cat food brand, or a soft drink, you need to think, act, and behave like an entertainment brand if you really want to cut through. Now, we think we're speeding towards a time when we'll be able to say that all brands are entertainment brands, all of them, and they'll have to be. They will have no choice. If they don't have entertainment at their core, they will simply wither and disappear. Because in an ad-blockable, ad-skippable world, the rules of engagement are really pretty simple. They are entertain or die.
Now, if you think that sounds a bit alarmist, consider this little nugget from Havas's recent report on meaningful brands. Most of us would not care if 74% of the world's brands just disappeared tomorrow. I don't think that's entirely unreasonable, given that a huge amount of the companies that are responsible for this kind of stuff are spamming people's timelines with pop-up videos, autoplay adverts, and then you sign up to their customer loyalty schemes and you've got an inbox full of spam and text messages that you don't want. I think people have got to try a lot harder and be a lot more respectful of their people in order to win through. I think you don't need us to tell you that you're about 1,000 times more likely to open a link that's been shared by a friend or a trusted media contact than one that's just been paid to hover in your timeline. So the companies that are winning at this stuff are the ones that surprise, delight us, entertain us, and try really hard not to be an irritation. Companies that are being a bit more HBO about things.
There's a joke where I come from in Nigeria that it's better to run away than to try and explain, you know, and you find that we have a lot of running going on. People run first and then ask questions later, you know, so sometimes we directly take a belief and we make it work directly for a brand, direct translation. So there's no, we don't party, just take it and make it work for a brand. And we have lots of that kind of communication going on, where you take a local proverb or a local saying or street saying, and you directly use it to work for a brand. Again, because it has this social and cultural context, it works very well. So you probably wouldn't understand it except it's interpreted in a way that somebody else can understand. We have a campaign like that where we take a direct saying on the streets, you know, run first and ask questions later, and we actually use it for brands. And lots of them like that, and they work very well for brands as well. But of course, cultural context helps it work for the message.